Where will these 10 states go? Shira Center is politics editor for Roll Call, and Daniel Halper is online editor for the Weekly Standard. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Interesting, Shira. You point out that at this time of the campaign cycle, everybody's paying attention to Iowa and South Carolina, and yet those states are not so pivotal when it comes to the general election.
Yeah, absolutely. And herein lies one of the biggest problems right now within the Republican Party, right? You have a lot of candidates looking to run for the Republican nomination, and who's going to decide that? Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, maybe Florida. Well, you look at two of the three first states, Iowa and South Carolina, and they have very conservative Republican electorates. And the same guys who are going to pick a nominee in these states during the caucuses and later during the primary, well, it might not be the same choice that a lot of these Big Ten states where the general election is going to play out. It's not going to be the same candidate that they would pick.
Daniel, you say that one candidate has a target on his back right now among Republicans. Who's that?
That's Scott Walker, absolutely. Look, if you're leading the pack, everybody pays attention to you. So this coming weekend, all the Republicans have another cattle call, this time in Iowa at the Agricultural Summit. I think a lot of people are going to be looking to see how Scott Walker does. And believe me, if he stumbles, everybody's going to pay attention to that as well because of the increased attention that the leader gets. Granted, Jeb Bush is also making inroads, particularly in the establishment, in the money raising. He has yet to prove himself among voters. Obviously, nobody has, in a certain way, proved themselves among voters, but he's yet to lead any sort of polls. Scott Walker, of course, has the top poll position at this moment.
It is widely thought that Jeb Bush has a lock on a lot of the big money donors in the Republican Party. Our Fox News polls ask this question: which leader do you think, or which candidate, I should say, is a strong leader? Now, these are Republican voters responding here. 44% say Scott Walker is strong. 49% see Rubio as strong. 50% see Jeb Bush as a strong leader. Shira, again, is that because of Bush's family name? It's been a while since he was governor of Florida.
Yeah, I'm sure that has a lot to do with Bush's family name, right? When two members of your family have already served in the Oval Office and you bring up a leadership question, that's got to make the average respondent think about that in a different way. But what I would watch in that poll is the number of people who responded negatively to Bush, because it was much higher than the other candidates as well. That's also indicative of, again, his high name ID when it comes in the White House, but also how divisive he could be as a presidential candidate down the line among Republicans.
We started out talking about the Big Ten states, and I guess I'm wondering, Daniel, in your opinion, which of the Republican candidates shows the best chance of winning some of those pivotal states that might ultimately decide the election?
Well, obviously, it helps if you're from some of those states. So Jeb Bush coming from Florida, Marco Rubio also coming from Florida. That's a big state. You need to win Florida in order to win. Obviously, but Wisconsin's also in play, and Scott Walker comes from that, and he's won it 3 times in 4 years. So all these candidates, the strongest candidates, I think, come from the states where it's competitive. They've run competitive elections before, and so they're time-tested. They understand politics. They understand winning elections in hard races, and I think that's what helps them get prepared for the 2016 presidential race.
It's going to be a fascinating one to watch as Republicans try to hone in on a candidate. Thank you both.
Indeed.
Daniel Halper, Shira Center.
Thank you.
Well, a new twist and a story we've been watching closely here on Happening Now. Some new documents recovered from